Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War online live commentary. So, this is the Grim in the Grave DLC, and I'm going to be playing against a Greenskin opponent. So, what do we want to play? I figure you guys probably want to see some new content here. So, I've just been playing Strigoi Ghoul King every game, so let's go ahead and go with Uncle Vlad here. I think that'll be fun. He brings, can provide a melee debuff to the opponent. He also has regeneration. He does have that -4 leadership to nearby units, which is very cool. And let's see what else he can bring. Carstein ring. Let's bring it. Why not? Let's go big, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's go big and expensive with Uncle Vlad. Let's get a White King as well. Let's put him on a mount with a potion. He's very, very good to have in that front line. And the Greenskins can have a very, very strong, infantry corps with the Wa and all that stuff. So you definitely need to be able to match that. Let's go ahead and do that. And as far as fodder goes, Greenskins missile infantry are not that good. So honestly, I think zombies might be fine. You don't really need the shielded. I feel like it's not that important, but hey, I could be wrong. Could backfire on me. So we're just going to go standard zombies. I think 4 groups should probably be enough. And then let's see, just to be safe, in case he does have, some sort of missile fire, let's bring these Graveguard, and then we can bring some Cryptors, because Cryptors are very good at dealing with Black Orcs. Very, very good. So let's bring 3 groups of those. Let's bring a Mortis Engine for the perpetual healing. Let's see, what else do I want to bring? So another thing about Greenskins is you can really take advantage of their lack of aerial units. And let's see, do I want to get the Devils of Schwarzwandhafen or Schwarzhafen? I don't know how to say that, guys. You might have to help me with that one. So let's get some Vargeist as well as some Bats. I feel like that's going to be a good investment. Let's see, what else do I want to get here? I feel like, oh, and he does come with Lore of Vampires, so I can pinch some pennies here. So Raised Dead is okay. I don't think against Greenskin it's very good, so I'm probably just going to honestly get Invocation of Heck and Gaze in the Gash, and look how much money that saved me. Definitely a big, and I don't have any cavalry, actually. Something I just realized. So let's do that. Let's get one group of, do I want to get some Blood Knights, maybe? Yeah, I feel like Blood Knights would be good. And let's get the Dire Pack. I know you kind of need to have something to answer his charge with there. All right, everything's looking good, guys. Let's just put a Chevron in there. I know that's a terrible idea, but whatever. Let's have some fun. So yeah, I'm excited to use Vlad. Haven't gotten a chance to experiment much with him yet, but I actually played against someone using Vlad a few games ago, and it was hard to deal with. He was very resilient. My one gripe, I don't think you can actually put him on any sort of a mount. So I believe his run speed is pretty quick though, but we'll find out here in a second. So should be fun, guys. So things are loading in. Again, I have my relatively standard vampire composition post the Grim in the Grave DLC. I have my fodder line, which, depending on the faction, can either be skeletons or zombies. And then I also brought my support units and my armor piercing in the back. And then the bats are going to be great. So let's go here. Let's go ahead and put these guys here. Do that. So fodder in front. Support infantry in the second line. And let's get my skull, the guys who are going to be cracking some skulls right there. And Uncle Vlad is right here, so let's see what his run speed is, actually. It's 40, so that's not bad at all. Let's go ahead and put him among the troops. I think right here would probably be good. He looks very cool. Look at that guy. Doesn't get much more OG than that. Let's go ahead and group them up. We want the White King over here as well in the front line. Lock that up. We'll have our anti-cavalry division here in group 2. Let's put the Mortis Engine right here. You want that like front and center. So that can add that to group 1. Cavalry here. Let's do our Air Force here. So we'll probably put 1 in group 4 just so I can easily micro between them. So those troops are ready. Let's put these guys up on the hill here. We'll put these guys here and group 4 bat over there. All right, we're feeling good. It's going to be tough with Vlad in there. Hopefully I can hang with Black Orcs or whatever else he decides to bring. Vlad has a ton of different abilities that are pretty strong. And I like that minor leadership hit. I've been in games where guys are like teetering on the point of routing, and I think he might make a difference with that. So. And also the Master of Beguilement seems pretty cool, the -46 melee attack. Use that on a group of Black Orcs. It's pretty decent. And the Carstein ring, isn't that cool? So definitely look forward to trying that. And greatly replenishes hit points of combatants. So that should be nice. Definitely excited for that. He looks pretty freaking cool. So I'll use these guys if he has Doomdiver catapults or anything like that. I can use the Fellbats to dive those. So, and again, Greenskins do not have great aerial units, so I can pretty much just have free range and fly over his army and dive wherever I please. And I can also use these bats to tie up his cavalry if there's a cavalry engagement, and I should definitely win the cavalry battle with this kind of group here. So we'll see how this goes. All right, guys, it's time to party. Let's do this. The zombies are ready for action. Walking Dead over here. Oh, yeah, look at those stat buffs. Okay, so Looks like he does have some Doom Divers, so I'm immediately going to fly these troops over here and just start to advance because I'm going to be taking fire right away. So want to do that. And he does have some cavalry force. So they're very focused on this side, which is good. So I should be able to bring these over here. Let's get these guys here and number 4 over here. Oh, look at those zombies, man. They took a beating there. Did he use some sort of effect? I didn't see what he used. Is that just Doom Divers? Or what is he using? Oh, rock lobbers. That's what it is. Okay. So it should be fun. So the bats are flying over. Again, not much my opponent can do. You know, I can kind of have free range. It looks like he has a giant, actually, too, which is definitely a little tricky. So let's put this bat in group 2, just for the sake of management here. Actually, come on, guys. Get up there. Got work to do. Let's fly over. This is definitely going to be very annoying for my opponent. You know, not much he can do about this, to be honest. Looks like he has a war boss. Looks like he has an orc shaman as well, which is good. He's going to have the big Wa, which is a very, very strong lore of magic. I feel like it's taking my guys forever. You know, I might actually just kind of try and overwhelm here. So get my Blood Knights in position. Get these guys here. Let's go ahead and get these bats engaged here. Let's path them in, and let's tie them down, guys. All right, this is going to be sweet. I'm excited for this. Actually, let's take this group of bats and just tie down these guys. It also occupies Lord. So my opponent, you see he gets tied down here, and those Blood Knights are just going to wreak havoc when they get in there. I feel like my troops are just so slow right now. But yeah, this engagement's going very well, and the Vargeist in there in the back are just going to tear apart these guys. And you can see the bats here have gotten engaged there and have tied them down, so let's get them right up there. The Blood Knights, I do need to get an invocation and a heck right here. This is going to be very big. He needs to get a little closer. So he's running. He does have pretty high run speed. So, you know, hopefully Uncle Vlad can get there before things get too hairy. Come on, Vladdy. We need you. There we go. And he got the invocation to heck off. That's going to be huge. Because that whole group, you know, I didn't take that much damage considering. And now I can just basically rout off most of his units here. Do pretty good. And it looks like does he have some goblins over here? Let's go ahead and engage with his other cavalry division. So we're going to engage in the front line now. Zombies are going to go in. Like so. Let's get these guys. Let's get the Cryptors in here. Get this here. Move the Mortis engine up. And Uncle Vlad can also engage here. So things are going pretty well for me in the back line. And I would say my infantry corps is advancing. It just feels particularly slow. I think I might have had some slow units mixed in there as well. So, and then the White King, of course, you want to get him on these orc boys. And in the back line, that's something that's very good about the vampire counts is they can just overwhelm people's cavalry forces and can be such a force to be reckoned with. So that went very well for me. Let's go ahead and just crush down on this line. Why not, right? Vlad's in there doing pretty good. I'm probably going to use another invocation and a heck here on this force. My opponent is pulling some goblins over. Let's tie up that giant here. So I'm going to engage here, but as soon as these goblins get here, I'm going to want to pull out. So maybe I'll just tie up those goblins with those bats and then pull these guys out. So you see he's reacting now, so let's go ahead and pull back. Uncle Vlad and the boys are just crushing right here. So let's go ahead and send these guys. Make sure to move your Mortis engine up also. And the Blood Knights, what I want now is to get them engaged here. So let's pull them around, chase off these routing units. Not sure what was going on there. That was probably a misclick. So definitely unfortunate for my opponent. Use Master of Beguilement here. Uncle Vlad, he's going to do some work here. And I'm just kind of routing off his cavalry, making sure they're not coming back. So we can go ahead and engage here for the most part. I would say send those guys in, but the Blood Knights, I want to get those guys. So I'm going to put them in a separate group so I don't accidentally micro them the wrong way. And I think we're okay. So let's use an invocation to heck here. This is one of the points of the battle that my opponent has invested a lot of resources in. So use the Vargeist to make sure these units don't come back. And now I have the Mortis engine here draining folks, and things are going pretty well for me, I would say. Definitely cannot complain. So we go back to the front line. Everything's pretty good. So now the Blood Knights are here. We want to pull them up and around. You see using the shift pathing. So I'm holding down shift while I path there, and it's doing pretty well for me. So yeah, he doesn't have much left here, to be honest. Most of his guys are just being chased off. And where's Uncle Vlad? He needs to get over here and deal with this big threat here. So Blood Knights. A little bit of an awkward engagement here, but let's go ahead and get Vladdy over there. Just use the rest of these units to make sure they don't, come back and generate any additional value. But to be honest, there's nothing really worth chasing at this point. So I'm just going to go ahead and engage over here. Switch to this guy. Get his pathing over here a little faster. Uncle Vlad. Let's have him use a Gaze of Nagash on that giant. That's going to do pretty good damage. And giants, I don't think they have a ton of armor. Yeah, so the Vargeist will also do quite well. So that Gaze did pretty well against him. And let's go ahead and use an upgraded an upgraded Invocation and a Heck here. So you guys can see, I still have a ton of zombies here, I mean, and they're great fodder units against the Greenskins, in my opinion. You don't really need the shielded, and they're just so cost effective for the 150 resources you're getting. So definitely can't complain there. All right, that's good. So let's get in here and just kind of crumble things now. Not much left that my opponent has. A lot of it came down to the cavalry battle, and again, it's very hard to go fisticuffs with Vampire Count's cavalry. They're just so freaking strong, guys. All right, come on, Vargas, get in there on that giant. Quit messing around. Oh, he actually does have quite a bit coming back from route, but if you guys look at the balance of power, I mean, it's just pretty much over at this point. I would say there's very little my opponent can do, so yeah, let's see what does he have? He looks like he has some boys and different things like that, but he didn't have any black orcs or really heavy infantry corps. So Vlad, he was able to get in there and just really wreak havoc. And also, in that initial battle with his cavalry, the orc boys did pretty good. They actually, killed quite a few of these blood knights, but the invocation of the heck generated so much value on that group, so it was very hard for him to come back. And again, like I'm always telling you guys, against Vampire Counts, artillery, in my opinion, is a terrible investment. Just one group of bats was able to tie them down, and look at the value. They might have killed 14 zombies, and for 700 or 800, how much ever they cost, he could have had black orcs and units that would have made a huge difference in that front line. But regardless, definitely put up a good fight, and it was a lot of fun. And Uncle Vlad is definitely cool. 40 run speed, pretty decent effects. He has a melee debuff as well as good regeneration. So anyways, good game to Arminius. I look forward to seeing you again on ladder. I appreciate the game and want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed that live Battlecast and more to come. Take care.